A father's worth. I am mom and dad. This is one of the biggest myths flying out there that is typically aimed at the dilemmas of being a single mom in the face of an absent father. Recently, my own family changed. I raised two stepchildren for 12 years from the age of 2 and 5, and also have two biological children aged 6 and 12 from that relationship. Keep that in mind. A man cannot be a woman any more than a woman can be a man. A mother cannot be a father any more than a father can be a mother. However, that is not to say that the other cannot meet traditional social roles of either. For example, mom can play catch just like dads can play Barbies. In my family court process, what I witness time and time again is this. The father's values seem to be held at the financial state. This is evidenced through the fact that regardless what child safety issues are raised, visitation, phone call, religious issues, mental health, alcohol or drug issues, child care, mental health issues, stepchild issues, emotional welfare, time and time again, I was shut down and told to speak to my attorney. The rest of that hour-long proceeding, every 3 months for 2 years, was about my income and child support. The guardian ad litem never met with my kids, despite all the fears and concerns that I did raise. But she did threaten to take away my so-called visitation with my children if I tried to have the court order for phone calls reinforced by law enforcement one more time. The reasoning being that the so-called court order was not written in stone. But the child support order is so etched in law that it is garnished from my check every 2 weeks without say or choice from the very first hearing. It was also backdated for 3 months from the very first hearing, even though I had my children 50% of the time and met all their major needs during that time of separation before our first hearing. A lien was instantly put on the title of my truck, and when I said I could not afford $850 on a $1,000 a month income, after being laid off from 2 full-time jobs, I was told to talk to my attorney. When I looked across the table for help, all I got was a shoulder shrug. When they finally adjusted my child support to meet my new job, it was 6 months later, and without a hearing of any sort, they raised my child support automatically when I was promoted. I was the only one pressured to raise my income, held to the standard of what I used to make, split my taxes for 2 years, and when the divorce was finalized, again, 80% of that hearing was about income. I submitted a major holiday schedule laying out a sharing of special days and occasions based on what is normal from other judgments and divorce settlements across the nation. My request was denied, and the judge simply stated that the normal schedule should be followed because it was said, not even written or submitted, that it would be too much of a hassle to share special occasions. That judgment was not finalized during the court hearing, but rather about a month later through the mail, saying what my child support would be, what my taxes would be, and what my alimony payment would be, and that my request to share Christmas or birthdays was denied. You get the picture. All in all, in that same time period, I shelled out about $30,000 in child support and taxes. Not to mention, I was made solely responsible for providing health insurance in that same time period. And if I didn't, I was told that I would have whatever was left over after child support garnished further. I had to take out a $5,000 loan for a $2,500 truck repair to pay off the lien I didn't know was on my title for arrears that was implemented during the first court hearing and backdated. I was also facing jail time if it wasn't paid off. Again, I had my children 50% of the time. Apart from that is the social movement, which is most likely predicated by the fact that so much attention has been put on father's absence, but without just as much emphasis being put on the other influences that may play a part in their absence. I recently had a judge who knew of my ordeal say to me, "Sammy, I've seen many fathers quit the process. It is often too much or too hard. I have seen good fathers quit during and after these proceedings, which look a lot like yours." Fathers are often represented as stupid, dull-witted, and uninvolved in the media. And I will say, as a feminist, this plays into the hands of so-called lazy fathers who use that as an excuse not to participate fully in the lives and the raising of their children. Typically, a father's worth has been held at what financial support he brings to the table. This stereotype has many reasons for existing. However, more fathers than ever before are becoming nurturers as well. I am just one of them. 1 out of every 4 households is headed by a single father. This number is on the rise and represents the fastest growing group of single parents with custody of their children. It is a damaging message for a child to hear how women don't need men. While that may be true to a degree, it doesn't mean that children don't need men, and I do mean need. It's true my family changed, but the importance of my role to all my children, both biological and by choice, should not have to change. One of my stepchildren and I have only seen each other for a total of 13 times in that same time period. We had to start sneaking in phone calls and settle for 1 to 2 hour visits here and there. And I'm being honest, it had nothing to do with safety concerns. In fact, I still had my other younger children 50% of the time. This happens to men everywhere. This isn't about catching ball or playing dolls. It's about being present. It shouldn't be about providing money, but about providing a relationship. It should be about the values that a meaningful person brings to the table. It should be about the emotional support that matters most, not the bottom dollar. It should be about the discipline and structure that two sets of loving hearts can provide. I'll be the last to give an absent father an excuse, including myself, but to resolve any problem, it requires dialogue, multiple perspectives, and understanding of the pre-existing system. Never attribute the most important innate value that a father brings to the table as monetary. What I see as my number one job is providing an example of what my children will see as a loving, caring human being. Oh yeah, and a future. Ladies, on a side note, if dad is unavailable, find other ways to bring positive examples of men into their lives. Coaches, pastors, mentors, neighbors, etc. A woman's perspective and a male's perspective on the same topics give children a balanced perspective of themselves and the world around them, and the sense that they are worth the attention of both. Dads, if you haven't been present in the lives of your children because you feel your value is based on what you hunt and bring to the table, you're not alone. But it is a myth that you are only worth your child support. Give your kids your time, your voice, your heart, your love, and the rest will have to come when it does. Government. Locking up parents for child support and adding hundreds of thousands of dollars to that is aiding and abetting the dissolution of families. The system is broken and needs to understand that while money is important, it isn't the most important thing. If we can bail out corporations for billions of dollars and clean the slate for immigrants, why can't we find a solution for this issue? Dads matter, and I'm starting to fight to make sure more people know that. And I did say fight because it certainly has felt like one, to be a dad, to fight for my right to be a father. And the dad in me will fight for his children's worth, all of them. My campaign will be called The Rise of Fathers. And if that campaign name is used, it will be Kick-Ass Dads who are fighting for their kick-ass kids. Moms, this is a tribute to all you do too.